I'm excited about this one. This video has been in the planning stages for a little while now. What I aim to do today is to assess whether we have good options for portable pour-over devices. I'm going to dive into what our affordable options are for, let's say, short backpacking trips, one-day hikes, maybe a couple nights camping, that we can rely on for portability, good tasting coffee, not expensive, easy to use. I'm going to break all of that down, but this isn't the type of video where I just want to be talking in my kitchen all day long. I can tell you all about it, but I can actually show you all of them being used outdoors. So why don't we do that? I was gonna find a really nice sand dune and I was gonna brew on top with a nice view of Lake Michigan behind me, but you know what? It just got done raining all day. The wind is so strong that it might actually give me a hard time trying to brew some coffee out here, so let me hop back in the woods and find a good spot back there, because this isn't gonna do us any good. All right, I've got my spot. I've got 4 devices here that I want to show you. All of these come in under $20. I'll go over that later. You can find links below. The idea here is to show you how different these items are, but ultimately what I like the best, how they're used, so you can see if you like what you see out of any one of these for you. I'm going to show these off. I'm going to brew in them like right now. Well, I've still got some light. This wind is picking up. It's a little bit crazy out here, but we'll just get to the brewing part, shall we? Come on. Now, the first thing you might ask is, what the heck you got going on there? And I'll tell you, it's this cool little table I found. This thing only weighs about 1.5 pounds, but as you can see, it's got these legs that kind of fold in, and just like that, we've got a table. Ignore the fact that I'm perched up on top of a rotting log right now, but seems to be stable enough. Ignore that too. Now we are going to use the mug that came with the OneisAll brand of drip device that I have here. This guy. This guy has, I suppose, the most promise for portability because it fits inside the mug, but so do these paper tab filters, so I can't say that this is any more portable than this. In fact, this is a lot lighter. And with this in the cup instead, you could probably fit something else like a small bag of grounds right in there with it. So even though this is designed to go inside this cup, something like this fits in there better with more space left over, and it's lighter. There's gonna be a lot of variables here, but first we're gonna start with this guy, the OneisAll brand of this type of drip. You can find them all over on Amazon. I'll leave links to everything that I use today, but just know that I am not sponsored by anyone yet, including any manufacturer or brand that I feature in today's video. All I want to do is test them, show you what they look like in the field. Excuse the sun coming out right now, it's probably going to blow everything out, but we're going to have some fun with it. So let's do this first. Before I do anything, we're gonna weigh some stuff out so that I don't actually overfill our cup with too much water or accidentally put too many beans. Got my scale, and I can see that the bottom of the dripper does not submerge under the water. That's good. 150 grams of water, pour it right into here. Ideally, we need to be using a gooseneck kettle. If you don't have a gooseneck kettle, your pour overs are going to be real rough. Technique and finesse with the gooseneck kettle really matters. Before I ramble on too much, let's heat this water up. We turn the heat off. We're going to let that rest and get our coffee in here. So we're going to be looking for 9.3 grams, maybe 9.5, 9.1. We got to 10, but that's okay. Give it a little shake to even it out. Now, I have tested all these, and the first thing I noticed when I use this is the mesh holds up better than I thought it would, and it's not as coarse as I anticipated it would be. It's pretty fine. So in my earlier testing, it didn't let through anything that was dry. So thumbs up for that. Let's get our water in our kettle here so that we can pour with ease. Check the temp on that. And we're sitting nicely somewhere between 195 and 200. So here we go. Start the timer. We're gonna let that bloom for about 25-30 seconds. This is a really small brew here, so that's all it's gonna need. A little bit of a shake, make sure everything's saturated. Now with these small brews and the exposure to all this wind, the temps are gonna drop real quick. So if you're in a situation like this where you've got wind gusts everywhere, I mean, ideally you wanna find a spot that's really out of the wind, better than this. But these winds are gonna push your temperatures down faster than you think. 2 minutes, brew seems to be done. For a 10-gram brew, that's actually probably a little longer than we'd want, but that's okay. So we'll just clean this up a little bit here. Now, as you can see, if you're out on a day trip or something, and you really need to conserve your water, this is an issue. You don't want to be dumping drinkable water if you don't have to. And that is where filtered coffee actually has a leg up. But it didn't take much, maybe about as much as I brewed with, to clean that out, but it's something to consider. Let's test this coffee, let's taste it. There's a lot in there that I can see that made it through to the cup of coffee. Thick cup of mud, as you might call it, but with nice, superior quality of coffee beans used, it's still a great cup of coffee. Max, I was able to get 12-gram brews on this thing, approximately about a 2-minute brew. It's a little trivial to clean. It takes about as much water as you use to brew, which isn't really great, but again, that comes with not using filters with steel mesh devices like this. So again, about $15, came with the mug. Lightweight, honestly, really easy to use. Good coffee. A little bit sediment at the bottom, not bad though. Let's move on. I want to talk about this tiny little doodad right here. At first I thought this is a really lightweight solution, lighter than the rest, more portable than the rest. Why can't this be the best? And I'm realizing on a day with 20-25 mile an hour wind gusts, why this might not be the best option. On a windy day like this, might not be ideal. These things are so light, if you just accidentally let go, set it down, wind picks up, it's gone. Nonetheless, it's worth looking at as an option for its benefits. But it's got some cons. For one thing, structural integrity, holding on to any particular mug could be interesting, to say the least. In this case, it's not so bad. It hangs on. That's basically it. You open these tabs, wings, claws, whatever you want to call them. But see, if you don't get it just right, it kind of flings around. And what scares me is if it's got to have such a small brew size, about 10 grams or so, well, what's to stop that arm from flinging out during the brew? That would be devastating. Still, I want to go through and see what this thing is like. Looking for 11 grams. Now, this is a concern. The opening for this tab is real small. So even this coffee scoop is actually a wider diameter than the opening of that tab. Keep that in mind. But if you're careful, it shouldn't be an issue. But see, the wind blowing, I'm gonna get coffee grounds right in this cup. Oh yeah. That's the reality of these tiny little devices. We'll make do. That's about 11 grams there. Oh yeah, look at all those grounds sitting down there. All right, time to pour. Now again, because of the small opening, you have to be real careful here. See how I missed that filter? Oh yeah, I can see plenty of grounds that the wind picked up and threw into my cup. The ravens are above me. I don't know if that's good luck or bad luck. Yeah, I just checked my notes, and even when I did my testing, I had some grounds make it into my coffee cup because I missed that tab. And that's in a controlled setting with no wind in my kitchen. So, you know, take that for what it is. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. The brew really looks done now. It's as simple as lift up. And the nice thing about this one in particular, and I think across the board, but I very well could be wrong, is that this is 100% biodegradable, compostable. So ideally, you can compost this as is. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, so I'm gonna just pack it up and then compost it when I get home properly. But you know, plan ahead. Now, I see plenty of grounds in there, but I'll still do you guys a solid and taste it. Yeah, I just chewed on that one. Flavor-wise, it's there. Well, yeah, that's a mess. As far as technique goes, the resulting brew is just messy. I can't really recommend this unless your ultimate goal is just shedding as much weight down to the gram as possible. So, it is what it is. Moving on. Here we have the Primula. This is the only one out of all these that I know the actual brand name for. The Primula, patent pending. The Coffee Brew Buddy, as it says on the bottom. Another mesh type brewer that sits just like that. Obviously, the shape is what intrigued me. That can go into just about any pocket of any bag you have. Not only that, it was pretty easy to clean. Easier to clean than the OneisAll Drip. So let's give it a shot. Now, of all of these, this is the one that gives you the least amount of coffee available to brew, only because the mesh pocket sits way down in the cup. I'm talking like it's like halfway down this mug. You don't want that because you really risk over extracting your coffee if it's submerged in the coffee. But again, pros and cons. 10 gram brew, that means 160 grams of water. Again, 10 gram brew is max on this thing, unless you have a much taller mug. Then you could adjust. But again, you're gonna reach a limitation with the pocket size anyway, but it is a deep pocket, so you probably could get away with 15, maybe 20 grams. Like I said, I'm not sponsored in this video, but Jetboil, get in touch. I ain't playing. Now, the mesh is kind of crumpled up around the inside edges, so you really got to kind of give it a little percussive maintenance to shake everything down. It does point inwards at a slight tilt, so any water that hits the edge flows back down inside. That's good design. All right. Holy, that's the sun. So I'm going to start by sticking it to the edges just initially to get all those loose grounds back to the center. Let's finish this up. Now this one has the quickest brew time of them all, just over 1:15, and it's done. So what you're left with is this pocket. Now cleaning this is a little bit weird. You flip the pocket upside down, run some water through that, and it's good to go. Not too difficult, just kind of weird. So let's do that. Again, see, it's not perfect. There we go. But again, it does use more water as part of the cleaning process than I would like. So Again, something to consider. And how's the coffee? Well, as per my notes, it had the thickest body of all of them. And I'm talking sludge. It lets through quite a lot, and I can see quite a lot in there. Not loose grounds that fell in because the diameter had a lot of protection on the top. Oh yeah. Oh, I got the sun directly on my face now. I guess I should adjust. Well, hopefully that's a little better. That sun is bright. Anyway, that's the Primula. It's an option, not my favorite. It is really portable, but it, again, uses more water for cleaning than I would like. It lets through way too much through the mesh, don't like. And I want to say this was also like $6, maybe $8. Now this last device, I'm going to tell you right now it's my favorite. And I'll tell you why. It's because it allows me to use a V60 filter. Some of you who are familiar with outdoor coffee making, pour over making, you probably have one of these, and you probably have been screaming at me this whole time to show this. And there's a couple variations of this. This particular one I also don't remember the brand name of. Excuse me, I'll put a link down below. You can find it. You can find others like it. This right here, this is really nice. I like it a lot. I'm gonna show my bias here because I did my testing already, and this by far got me the closest to a V60 brew as I thought that I could get. But as you can see, packs down flat, just like the Primula, probably a little bit flatter than the Primula, and you can fit some filters in as storage, but of course when you use it, the filter's gotta come out, except for one. It's all collapsible, and when it comes back out, it's in this shape here, not too dissimilar to a V60. Allowing use of a V60 filter gives us a huge diameter so that we're much less likely to lose a bunch of grounds. Now, what's nice about this one is it doesn't protrude into the cup like at all. So this one allows us the most amount of brewed coffee. There goes our sun. Oh boy. Or I'll just keep going. I'll just keep going. We'll fix it in post. Water time. 18 gram brew, that's the most out of all of these that I could manage to get. In this particular cup, keep that in mind. You might use a taller mug. You might use a smaller mug. You gotta keep these things in mind. If you use a smaller mug, that Primula ain't for you. Brewing outdoors, not the easiest thing when there's a lot of wind. Whoa, almost lost that. See how it sits on there? It's not super secure. This may not be the best option at all if you're in a high wind. We're gonna set this down on the side just for safety until our water is ready to pour. We've got a 36 gram bloom. And with this wind, I'm just holding things steady. 45 seconds. Let's finish this pour. I'm gonna go crazy out here. I could have picked a better day. That's about half my water, a little agitation, and now the rest is going in. Might be best to hold with one hand here for the whole brew. Again, this is a really aggressively pouring kettle. If you've got a better option for an outdoor kettle, please leave something in the comments for me to find it. Because this is cool and all, but it also costs like 10 bucks. So it's designed for pour finesse, leaves much to be desired. I'm gonna put this away. Wah! Maybe I spoke too soon on which was my favorite, because I don't like catching that every 2 minutes. Ignore that too. We're coming up on 2 minutes and 30 seconds here. There goes all my light again. That's it. So this coffee, there's nothing in that cup. It's clean, like a V60 as it should. You're using a V60 filter. It's just the device holding the V60 filter is a little different. So the taste of the coffee, it's really nice. You got to trust me on that one. Yeah. A nice, well-balanced body. I had a lot of fun planning this one out. It took a little longer to execute than I would have liked. I really had to write things out a little bit, test things out before I got out here and just threw some nonsense at the camera and hope things worked out. Yeah, these are great options. They're all actually great options. They all have their pros and their cons. The steel collapsible I think I got for like $15. And it came with a pack of 50 filters. But I have to say the steel collapsible is my favorite. If we didn't have 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts, I would have had no problem with that steel collapsible like I did in my house. It was just amazing. So I'm gonna finish this coffee, and I want you to tell me below, what was your favorite? Do you use anything else that I didn't feature here that I should know about? Because I know of a couple others that I didn't get my hands on. I could only fit so much in here in this video. I know it's gonna be a long video anyway. Tell me below what you've been using. What's your favorite? What haven't you used yet that I should look into? I hope you found something useful in this video. Please leave a like below. I put a lot of work into this one. Hit that subscribe button too if you found me, because there's not much info out there about accessible, affordable pour-over solution. This is the Coffee Anywhere series. Outdoor pour-over, affordable solution edition. Till next time. This would be the part where I walk off camera, but I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy this cup. Oh. My legs are jello, man. Oh yeah, oh the wind. Oh, I'm cramping up. These changing lighting conditions are gonna be the death of me here. Watch it, watch the sun come back right now. Bam! This is fine. Oh, golly gee, Mr. Krabs.